Q3 Production Results Livecast. Q3 Production Results. Hopefully. Let's see what happens with it. If you're there in the chat, can you make some noise? Give me some thumbs or something so I know you're there. Good morning, gang. Wow. What a quarter. Possibly. Gotta tell you, I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm excited. I am excited and nervous and anxious. And I'm disappointed because it's a bad time of day. It's a tough time of day. Let me make sure that's turned down. It's a bad time of day. It's a tough time of day to have an audience. And the competition is fierce. Fierce. And way more handsome than me. But, you know, New Year's is around the corner. Who knows, man? Maybe this is the year of Brian. So, great, great, great. Let's go ahead and blick this out so we can see what's going on. There we go. And now let's see if there's a chat I can pop out. There is, and there's no one there yet. So, I'm going to pop that out. If you guys want to start chatting, we will. Look at that. That's great. We will, you know, have a conversation about this and that. There I am. So handsome. Okay. I'm going to move this over. Hello, Vern. Good morning, Wendelin. Boy, it's not fair to make you stay up late for a stream and then get back up early for one. I did not get as much sleep as I had planned. I'm just too anxious. I'm excited. So before we get too excited, why don't we talk about some stuff? This account has been very vexing. Tesla China analyst at Tesla Shanghai. This account has had pretty good numbers in the past. It's also had some pretty broad misses in the past, but who knows? So, and if you're just tuning in, which you all are because it just started, we are hoping to have production numbers here in about 13 minutes. Who knows? Who knows? People smarter than me say that's the case, so there we go. Let's see what we've got. 404. Feels low. Feels low. I feel like they made more than that. Just double check. Yeah. Yeah. So, one thing I wanted to talk about was this fantastic bit from Volkswagen. Yeah. For example, Model 3 is built in 10 hours, more than 3 times as fast as the ID3. This puts Tesla in another dimension in terms of productivity and profitability. Another dimension. They're not ahead. They're not a little bit ahead. They are in another dimension. That's difficult to overstate. We need a will to live and a jolt at the site. That's from Herbert D's Nuts. Trinity has to take the site to a new competitive level, has to revolutionize it also with the new processes. So, and the board says the designs for the project don't go far enough. Wow. I mean, that's just exciting. Oh, good morning, Vern from the UK. Good morning, Sihitkill. I'm sure I butchered that. I apologize. An estimate of 247, 342. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. That would be wonderful. I am hoping that I am wrong and low. Actually, I hope I'm exactly right to the number because that'd be cool. But if I'm wrong, I would like to be wrong in that direction. Need to get my Model Y before I get a Cybertruck? That's reasonable. Those chats came through about 2 minutes after we started chatting, FYI. I have a delay on just because I'm fearful of connectivity issues. So, apologize for that. What do we got here? What's going on? What's going on? 10 more minutes. The magic continues. Move this over here just so I don't lose it. Just so I don't misplace it. Why don't we look back? Yeah. Back at my estimate. Tell you, man, I am still confident in it in a number of ways. I can probably put this here. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, 404K. Oh, yeah, let's check. Let's see if the numbers came out. Maybe they did. Yeah. Oh, where the heck? Oh, I lost it over here. Ah, come on, man. I'll get there. What am I doing? Where did it go? I know where it is. It's right here. So let's reload it. Yes, 404K. Exactly right prediction. Good job. No, we play. Yeah. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning, Drew. Do I think the Cybertruck will ever make it to Europe? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Fords have made it to Europe in limited numbers. If the Gret Big O Ford Lightning can make it, let's move this over. Let's see if we can move this over a hair. Oh, that was a big bump. Yes, if the Ford Lightning, not the Lightning, sorry, if the F-150, if the Ford F-150 can sell in Europe, then absolutely yes, the Cybertruck can as well. The concerns I've seen raised about size are, I believe, a non-issue if there are Ford trucks in Europe. The crash safety stuff, all that, I've made a lot of videos about this, and it's insane to me to think that it wouldn't make it, that it wouldn't come out, even in limited numbers. I don't know if it would be quite as dominant as in the U.S., but the U.S. loves trucks. Just loves them. So yeah, I didn't address why I think the Model, I don't remember if I got into this, but the reason I think the Model S is not going to, I know others have used VIN numbers to track it, but the VIN numbers are only reliable to a point. During the Model 3 ramp, they were good sometimes and wildly off other times, and especially when something is in as low of production as it is, it's very likely that they blocked off 20, 30, 40,000 VINs, and that they're now producing them out of order. That they've got this big block of long range and a big block of plaid, and they're selling more long range maybe, or they're skipping around is the possibility, I believe. Because having watched, this may not surprise you, but when it comes to the drone footage from Fremont, Berlin, Shanghai, and Austin, I watch every minute of every video. And if you guys watch those videos, you will frequently see me in the comments there. And I know I've had chats with almost all of the drone pilots. Almost all of them. I never talked to Tesla Kid in Berlin, but I don't believe he's active anymore. I think he was, I think it was difficult for him to compete with the more professional adults. So, anybody know if it's happened yet? Does not look like it. So I've got, 5,000 windows open, as I do. Theo believes the Cybertruck is too big. It is big. It is a big boy. Yeah, okay. So what should we talk about? I believe that the building in the northeast corner of Shanghai is their battery plant. I believe that's their battery factory. I believe they're already working to ramp it. I don't know where those cells will go, which models will get them, but I believe that that's already being built. And there's a part of the site that I call the Sliver Wedge, that is to the easternmost in the south end. It filled up the area where you could just barely get more building in. I believe that is where the Model 2 is already in development. That's a pet theory of mine, and I base that on the fact that the roof is extremely rugged, extremely thorough. It's concrete, which is something they really don't do in Shanghai. For them to have a building of that size with that sort of structural integrity is, kind of unheard of. Right. For the late arrivers, say hello in the chat. Love to greet you all. Thank you for joining me on this uncomfortably early Saturday morning. But it is my Tesla weekend. Yeah, that theme didn't last long. Good thing I picked such an evergreen name that doesn't pigeonhole me into one little thing. Super. But in advance of launching the channel, I didn't really have anyone to run things by who would give me better advice. And even though I watched as many videos as I could from people I respect tremendously, a lot of channels aren't very forthcoming with the keys to success on account of the perception that it's a zero-sum game and that any success someone else gets is success that you lose out on. So, unfortunately, that is fairly common. Although I would love to point out that Bear from Bear's Workshop, he and I have a pretty wonderful working relationship, and we're considering doing a podcast coming up. A very interesting. It's kind of an interesting theme we've got going. And we've been talking about it and working on it a little bit. And fortunately, he and I both have older teen and young adult children who know how to do these things better than we do. Did I see the LFP Tesla pack in the Sandy Monroe video yesterday? Yes, I did. That was fascinating. It looked very different than I expected. And it didn't fill out... It showed some clever designing. I was just sure it was going to just be jammed in there, but it looked well built, nicely engineered, elegant, and to fit in the same space. What I'm curious about is if we're going to a structural pack, what does that mean for using different batteries in different models? Are they going to have 3-4 different structural packs that they use on the same production line? Maybe. I don't know. I would tell you guys to go check out Sandy Monroe if you haven't, but I'm willing to bet just about everyone who would watch a live stream on a Saturday morning waiting for production numbers from this particular car company, I'm guessing you already know. I'm guessing you already know all about Sandy, because what a big channel, what a great channel. And I'm glad he's been successful with it, because otherwise he'd have stopped. He doesn't work for cheap. But it's done, I would guess that despite the fantastic money he's made from the YouTube channel, that he's actually made more from the increase in his profile and additional business, which is great. Can you imagine being Sandy, spending 50 years in the business, and then one day you get stuck with a car you didn't even want, so you tear it down for YouTube, and you become famous enough that people stop you on the street. People ask for selfies with you in the aeropuerto. That is pretty wild. That is pretty wild. I would like to, have a chance to chat with him at some point. I've reached out for an interview a couple times, but he's very busy, and I imagine his inbox is pretty full. It's pretty full. Just looking to see if anything's changed. Any other questions? Any thoughts, my friends? We've got just a handful of folks in here, but I appreciate you being here. 34, 35, great. Say hello in the chat. Ask me any questions. I don't demand offerings, but I like them. What do we got? The numbers I am least confident on would be my Shanghai numbers. Just because those last minute rumors really, I'm saying that Shanghai 3 and Y are only at a total of like 34,000. And they're saying 52,000 in September alone. Boy, that would be pretty wild. That would be pretty wild. And if that is the case, I'm going to tell you right now, they have more capacity. On the last shareholder letter, they said Shanghai has an installed capacity of 450,000 units. There ain't no way they're only at 450,000, which is, we know that. We can see that. And if they did do 50,000, we're at a real run rate of 600,000. So that would be wild. Do I think Tesla will add a few surprise features to the Cybertruck prior to the production version reveal? Maybe a folding midgate? What would I like to see? So, I think the tonneau cover is going to make a folding midgate tricky. I would love to see that. What I would like to see is maybe a roll down back window. Did they say they're doing that? I don't remember. What would I like to see? Boy, I had this in my head. I'm still waking up. I have had my coffee, so you can talk to me. I'd like to see an area to clean out. That's what it was. To clean out underneath where the tonneau cover rolls into. I'm concerned that will collect junk. That'll collect leaves and dirt and nastiness, and maybe even water. So I would like to see that, the ability to get that to drain. We did not see on the at the reveal the storage on the sails on the back, in the back of the triangle. I don't know if that's going to make it to the final design. I don't know if it needs to, but that would be cool. There are a lot of Ford fans who are really, really certain that the Super Mega Frunk is a game changer and that Tesla's not going to have it. And I cannot imagine what on earth would make them believe that that's not going to happen. Every Tesla's had a frunk. Meanwhile, the electric Mini doesn't have a frunk. The electric Hyundai, no frunk. The Polestar, I don't remember. Does it have a frunk? I know the hybrid version definitely don't. Anybody want to talk about Rivian? Rivian is kind of in production, and that's very exciting. What I haven't seen, and this concerns me a bit, is any driver videos, hands-on, butts in seats. I would really like to. That will give us more answers. For the initial design, I'm concerned that it's too heavy and too expensive. And on both of those accounts, it definitely is. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's their first car. What they need to do is get it into production. And I'm confident that they will succeed in doing so because their pockets are very deep. But they need to do it. And doing it is very difficult. And right now, especially in the EV space, all the good engineers are taken. So yeah, you can probably pick up some great, automotive engineers, maybe even ones with expertise in building out assembly lines. But boy, I don't know. I don't know how good the supply is of uh, of EV engineers. I assume it's very tight, and that they have to pay top dollar if they can get them at all. But and I mean, they can get them, but ones with experience, a little harder to find at good prices. And I believe their street valuation of what $70 billion is. I think that's fueled by people who are concerned that they missed the wave. They didn't get in on Tesla when they should have, and so they're now looking for the next Tesla. And at this point, Rivian is not the next Tesla. I believe Rivian's delivery van will do great. It'll do good sales. It'll do good numbers if they build it and the numbers work, which I'm confident they will, and they will. So, and the R1T and the SUV version of it, they're great, but they're awfully heavy and they're awfully expensive. And boy, I wouldn't want to have to charge a ginormous battery on EVgo or Electrify America based on all the footage I've seen and how it's done. So looks like we are still waiting. We can jump over to that again. Jerry Rig Everything did a real ride and drive. He even blew a tire and changed it on a trail. Well, that's great. I will have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Unnamed Man 001. Yeah. I'm sure it's well built and clever and has a lot of good stuff in it. Where do I think the next Gigafactory will be? I get asked this a lot, and I finally come up with an answer. The East Coast, the West Coast of India. Well, India doesn't have enough demand for cars. They don't, but they could still sell quite a few. And especially with the Model Q coming up, the $25,000 model, that will increase demand by tenfold, 20-fold, if the car can be sold at that price. The downside being nobody's going to buy FSD in India because it's not going to work, because India's roads are pure chaos, and deaths on the road are a way of life, and I don't believe Tesla would accept that prospect. And the reason is, and so why the west coast of India? Because it's closer to England and not necessarily farther from Australia. And India could be used to build exclusively right-hand drive models, which would mean that Fremont and Shanghai never have to keep second sets of stuff to do changeovers to make cars for Thailand, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. What am I forgetting? You know, all the right-hand drive cars. Yeah. So all the right-hand drive countries could be served from Giga India, and as well as the domestic Indian market, and that would make it for the most premium car in India available without an import tariff. And India's import tariffs are about 100% or more, just doubles the cost of the car. And they could also use that facility to make superchargers and mega packs. I don't know. They could do anything there. They could do anything. Legend of Owls, I'm glad to have you here. I know you're in a different time zone. I wondered if you'd show up. And you're not late because, and we can check. Let's see how our numbers are looking here. Yep, it's up. They've made 404 cars. Still 404. I think they'll update this. Let's just double check it. The magic continues. So that's cool. That's cool. I was thinking India as well for the next Gigafactory, but now I'm starting to think about Russia. I am not. I am not. In terms of shipping vehicles, Russia is very close to Berlin, on the grand scale. And although Russia has a lot of fantastic engineers, it does not have a very serious luxury car market. The population of Russia is not very big, and the percentage of people who could afford the car is similarly not big. The only thing they really have going for them is a low cost of labor, but that's similarly true in Romania or Poland, without the same levels of political uncertainty that could cause problems. Legend of Owls is giving me props. Thank you so much. I enjoy having you guys here. It's super helpful to me. I know that's crazy, but as much as you guys enjoy this, I enjoy being here with you. So thank you guys all for that. Oh, the magic, it continues. What I would like to know from you guys is, what kind of car would you like the $25,000 model to be? I've heard a lot of people say a hot hatchback, and that'd be cool. Something like a Mazda 3 would be the right size. Something like a Civic hatchback, that'd be probably the right size, and a popular form factor. I'll tell you what I want. I want a mini cybercar. I want a cybercar. I've seen renderings, and they're so pretty. They're so pretty. A sliding rear window would be great. I didn't notice that the bed was lacking washouts. This would definitely be a great addition. And I don't think it would be a super complicated one. But I don't know. I think we haven't gotten close enough to it to really see what it is. And also, we know that the prototype was not built with 4680s. That's another thing that's exciting. In a recent tweet storm, we found out that Cato Road is doing very well with their production numbers, with their throughput, with their percentage of workable cells, enough so that they've used some cells to ship them over to testing for structural and durability and chemistry testing, and they've also been stockpiling them. So I don't know how many you got stockpiled, but considering it's been over a year, my guess is an awful lot. My guess is a lot that they have stockpiled, and that this is going to be the sort of thing where whatever model gets them is going to have enough to get started. I believe in Austin, we're still months away from battery production, 3 or 4 at least, because you can still see inside from the north side of the building in the drone shots, and it doesn't even have all its pavement in, doesn't even have all its floors. So, and Berlin, you can see it still looks like an erector set. It's far from done. In Texas, they at least have some of their equipment in. In Austin, they don't even have a wall. Sorry, in Berlin, they don't even have a wall. But that's okay if we've got a warehouse full of them, which Tesla absolutely could. And what warehouse? Well, they've got 2 or 3 buildings that they've leased, that we believe they intend to use for megapacks. Another one under construction, doesn't count, and one that they own that's about 1 million square feet. So it would be, they've got the space to store them, that's for sure. So let's see. A VW Golf size or Polo size car. That is, I think, one of the top answers that I see. My question is, I wonder if, I think that would be more of a European model, maybe out of Berlin. And I think Shanghai might go for maybe a real compact four-door. Those are popular there. Oh, were you not here for that, Owls? We talked about the next Gigafactory being on the west coast of India so that they could ship right-hand drive models to the UK, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, Japan, etc., and as well as serve the domestic market. That's my best guess. I hope Giga Berlin gets its final permit soon. When do you think it will get its final permit? This year. This year. I know there's been a lot of talk among skeptics that it can't happen. They're going to get so far into this, and then they're going to lose everything, and they're going to tear it down because Berlin will just never approve it. And Berlin knows the eyes of the world are watching, and if you want foreign investment, you approve this building. Now, I'm not saying push it through when it doesn't meet requirements. I'm saying if it deserves to be permitted, permit it and do it quickly. And by the standards for other German projects that I've read about in the comments of the Berlin drone footage and read from Tobias Lind's Twitter, it seems like they are doing better than average in terms of their timeline. I believe it will absolutely be approved this year. I believe as soon as it's approved, they're going to flip the switch and production going begin. Wendelin would like the Cybercar if it could tow. I mean, why couldn't it? I saw a guy with a trailer hitch on his Miata that he would put his racing tires on. So he could go to the track on street tires, swap them out. Wouldn't be a very big trailer. You might get it, I don't know. In England, a lot of people tow little campers with their cars. Wild to me. I wouldn't do that. I hope Giga Berlin gets its final purpose. Oh, yes. When do you think the Cybertruck will reach peak capacity? Oh, peak capacity. Never. Well, if you were to ask me, let's use our time machine and go back and look at Shanghai. When will they reach peak capacity on the Model 3? I don't think they have, and it's been 2 years. I think they're going to keep ratcheting it up for a long time. Same with the Model Y. It's still growing at each site. So, peak. Now, when will it reach what you and I would consider full capacity? I'd say 18 months. I'd say within 18 months of first deliveries, they will hit a run rate of 400,000. Yeah. 1,000 a day. I think they'll hit 1,000 a day within 18 months. That's based on nothing. That's based on my speculation. But they won't start production until they've got the details ironed out. And once the details are ironed out, it's the simplest car that's been built in a very long time. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited. Hello to everyone who's joined since I last said hello to everyone who has joined. Say hello in the comments and let's have a chitty chat. While we're here, what else are we doing? Saturday morning. What do you expect me to do? Chores and tend the yard and put up my Halloween decorations? We've already done that. Our Halloween decorations are outrageous. We are the crazy people on the block. What am I doing? Let's check it. Figured by now they'd be up to 405, 406, but I guess that's it for now. Let's double check here. Still no word. The magic continues. What will they use the eventually freed up room in Nevada with the new Megapack facility in California? Oh, what a great question. I think that depends on, so what do they make at Giga Nevada? Mostly 2170s. Are they going to stop making 2170s once the 4680s are going? Maybe, but I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're great batteries. They've been able to increase the quality of them, the capacity, while reducing the price. So as long as that continues, there is kind of no reason to discontinue them unless the 4680s are already going gangbusters. So in either case, I'm going to say that the space freed up from making megapacks is going to be rededicated to batteries because they need Mo batteries. That's something they always definitely need. Yeah. Any guesses on the Cyber van design or timeline? I don't know if the van will be a Cyber. The reason for the Cyber truck is the strength of the triangle is fantastic in engineering. I don't know if a square would provide the same benefit. I mean, you could just use a triangle and have non-structural elements to the square. That could work. Just have an underlying triangle with the back squared off. Boy, I think we'll see that. Somebody's going to make one of those. When do I think we'll see it? So the van market is pretty small. It's pretty small. I think it's going to be pretty far down the road. I think we're not going to see it for 5 years. Because vans come in a variety of sizes. And I think the large, like a delivery van, like a UPS truck, I think Rivian's going to jump on that early and good for them. But I don't think Tesla wants to build 2 or 3 different vans. Hello, Greg from Auckland. 2:50 a.m. 6:52 a.m. where I am. Where are my production numbers at? Boy, I wonder how long we're going to do this if the numbers don't come out. Because it's entirely possible they'll come out tomorrow or Monday. But the people I follow on Twitter and elsewhere have reasonably high confidence that it's any minute now. Any minute now. Boy, I really wish Tesla would communicate these things a little better. But I wish a lot of things Tesla did were a little different when it came to media. I wish they would give us more B-roll so that when you're watching our various videos, you don't have to see the same production line worker, assembly line worker wave in 100 videos. I guarantee you she's been in hundreds of videos. I wish they would allow us to ask questions, any questions. I wish they would invite us to events. I know for some events, even the big dogs have to get in as someone's +1. Silicon Sapphire goal is a self-driving motorhome. That would be bliss. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Oh, spend the day checking out the sights, have dinner, hop in the van, go to sleep, wake up somewhere else. I know when Waymo was when they were still Google self-driving cars, I was just excited about the idea of going in, going to sleep, and pressing the I feel lucky button and seeing where it takes me. Cybervan will be boring exclusive coming out of Fremont for years at first. I don't know if they need enough for it to be exclusive, but now that you mention it, that is the use case for it. I'm going to change my... That's a fantastic point. I'm going to change my estimate. Not 5 years. 2 or 3. 2 or 3, because they absolutely need them. It's ridiculous to be putting Model X's in a boring tunnel. That's insanity. They're too expensive. Why do that? I did a video about the boring tunnel. I went to Vegas and saw it. And the good folks at the Convention and Visitors Bureau were kind enough to respond to my emails eventually with with F all for help, which was great. So I don't know. They do them. So yeah, she actually told me not to cover it at all. To which I said, "You took too long to write back. We already went there and covered it. So thanks, I guess." But you know, who am I? Who am I? I'm nobody. I'm nobody. So let's check the mother truckin' magic. I'm sure you guys are hitting F5 as well. But you know, I gotta hit my own F5s. See what we're doing here. Appears it's not out. Double check here. Let's do this. Make it a little easier to look at. I don't know. I don't know. I'm less anxious than I was a half hour ago. I tell you, when I put out that first estimate at 240, 782, when I put that out, ain't nobody that high. And now I'm starting to think maybe I'm too low. But I was super nervous because the closest estimate to mine, Wall Street, was at what, 223? 223? Yeah. And Troy Teslike was only at 235. But my numbers is my numbers. I don't shoot for the middle. I don't wait to see what everyone else does and then try and nuzzle my way in. It'd be easy to do that. That's, by the way, if someone asks you to bet, wait until the last minute and just go right in the middle. Go right in the middle. Or pick your favorite analyst and go $1 over or under, or a unit over or under, so you have a 50-50 chance of saying, I beat so-and-so. I beat Gordon Johnson. I feel like I could beat Gordon Johnson in tic-tac-toe. I don't know. The guy, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Not Gordon. Not Gordon. He is not right any times a day. He's been wrong consistently for years. Yeah, Wendelin, I believe you could tow a teardrop behind a Model Y. And if you could tow it behind a Y, you could probably tow it behind a Q2, which is what I'm calling it until they tell me to stop. And why won't they give us some inside information? Don't they love us? Don't they love us? Oh. I love you guys. I think you guys are pretty awesome. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. But that's all right. I've got a video about Arkimoto coming up soon, if I haven't already accidentally released it. Boy, I should look at that, huh? Make sure I don't drop that off accidentally too soon. Yeah, well, I guess I released it already. Okay, well, you know, enjoy, I guess. I need this open? Sure. Yeah, Arkimoto was an interesting visit. It was an interesting visit. I was just sure, I don't know, I was expecting something different. The experience was not what I expected. Super great people. Didn't get to see a lot of activity on the production line because it was part of the road trip and our schedule was pretty tight. And we went during their lunch hour. So we only got to see a bit of the production, but it was interesting. And it wasn't super relevant because they're moving to a new factory soon. But I couldn't get good information on that either. So that was a little odd. Where, oh, where are my numbers at? Go Joe Junk. How that guy, I used to say, how on earth does Gordon Johnson have a job? And then he got fired from his job for being really bad at it, I assume. I mean, I shouldn't jump to conclusions. Maybe it was other reasons. Maybe it's because he yelled at people. I mean, he does that still, but maybe he was doing it then too. But now I wonder how how he hasn't gone broke, unless he's being paid to be bad at telling people what Tesla's worth. Now, here's something I always wondered. You know how all of us responsible YouTubers love to point out, this is not investment advice. Do not take advice from me. I'm not a financial advisor. All those disclaimers. Gojo is a financial analyst. He does not come with disclaimers. He is giving you financial and investment advice, and it's terrible. Does he risk being sued? Because if you'd have taken his advice on Tesla over the last however many years, 8 years, you'd be broke. You'd be broke. Come on, baby. Show me that love. Where you at? Anything? 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 Nothing? The magic continues. Super cool. Super cool. Anybody shown up who hasn't said hello yet? Don't be shy. We're very friendly here, I assure you. Boy, the question really is, how long do we do it? How long do we do it? You know what I should have said 45 minutes ago? Is that I'm going to put timestamps down below after this goes live. But I didn't. But so, hey, just so you know, if you're 45 minutes into this and you're wondering where the actual numbers are, check the timestamps, my friend. There. Better late than never, right? Better late than never. It's just driving me crazy. How am I supposed to talk to myself for 45 minutes? I'm going to lose my mind. Refresh. It's refresh o'clock. And it's still 404 o'clock on the internet. Gordon Johnson is the meme version of himself. I can't argue with that. Wow. Wow. So, Unnamed Man asked, how could Gojo not be paid by Detroit? You know, they say the same thing. Not they, different they. Say the same thing about us Tesla YouTubers. Surely we must be on Elon's payroll. Surely we must be. Why would I do this if I wasn't on his payroll? Well, Elon's never given me a penny, to my knowledge, unless he's like a secret Patreon. And if he is, come on, man, step up, you cheapskate. But I don't think he is. What he has done is create a company that I bought shares in, which have done very well for me. And if you would have come to me 2.5 years ago in May of 2019 when I bought my shares and said, I'm going to pay you to someday make a channel and a bunch of videos. What do you charge? The number I would have given you is way, way, way less than what I've made on the stock. So, and I don't trade the stock. I hold the stock. It's in my retirement. I'm very excited about it. And I did take out I sold 12 shares pre-split. Big regret. It would have done a lot better if I hadn't. Buddy of mine got in my head a bit. But I shouldn't have listened to him. He's bad at financial stuff. He's very successful because he makes good money, but that's where his expertise ends. When I bought Tesla stock, he said he wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And I was like, well, I follow it daily, and, I just put 75% of my retirement in it. So, and then of course it went up quite a bit. And he even said, oh, you should put a stop loss in, so if it goes down too much, you'll sell. And I was like, why would I sell? Why would I sell? Especially if it went down, why would I sell? Then I just buy more. But he convinced me to put in a sell order if it got to a certain height. So I said, well, okay, I tell you what, if it gets to 1,200, I will sell 12 shares. And he goes, what's it at now? And I was like, oh, like 280. He's like, you got to be realistic. I'm like, that is realistic. That is realistic. And yeah, I got, 15 grand out, but I still have 325 shares. Very excited about that. Very excited. Can you do a full video on the Tesla battery packs? Like how many countries they've built in, how many packs they've built, things like that. Do you mean the mega packs? That's a great idea. I know there's one in Hawaii. I think there's one in Alaska. We know about the ones in Australia. We know about the one in Texas. We know about ones in California. I think that's a great idea. I don't know how good the numbers would be or how accurate they would be, but it would get us in the right direction. I like that. I like it. Owl, you're promoted. You're promoted. Difference between Tesla YouTubers and Gojo is he seems to have money. No offense. None taken. He must. He must. He was pulling down good money as an analyst for many years. And he's got to have somebody paying him now. But if he doesn't, he's surviving on just the money he already had. He does have money. Didn't make any of it on Tesla unless he's a bigger liar than we expected, which is super, super possible. Okay. How are you, Tim? Good to see you. I don't know if I've seen you in many live chats. Usually our schedules don't line up. Good to see you, Tim. Good to see you. I did see your comments. I do see your comments. I do read the comments, by the way, for anyone who thinks I'm just too big and famous to rub elbows with the commoners. But like you were saying, who was it? Unnamed man. Yeah, I am a commoner. I am a commoner. I would say a lot of the Tesla YouTubers, though, really aren't. Galley seems quite successful. Tesla Daily seems quite successful. Stephen Mark Ryan is very successful. And we know because he puts out videos showing how things work from the financial end. It's wonderful. I love it and I appreciate it. Hello, Matt from Missouri. You've ordered a Cybertruck. When? What's your reservation number? Because I'm definitely jelly. I wish I had thought to. If I'd understood how long the timeline would be, I might have put in a reservation. And if I understood how many reservations there were going to be, but I thought it was going to be like the Model Y, where the reservations kind of didn't matter, or the Model 3, where within 2 years you could get one. But does Tesla directly own all its Megapacks that have been installed? No, they only own one of them. They're generally owned by the utility, who may or may not have Tesla's assistance in managing them. But they built one in Texas, not far from Austin. It's called Gambit Energy. I made a video about it and about the crazy benefits if Tesla just put in one new Megapack facility a month. Within 10 years, they could be making $47 billion per amount of time. Video was a while ago. I don't remember it now, but it was speculative and beautiful, and I'm proud of it. No, they're planning to own more of them because there's a lot of money on the table, and why give it away? Good morning, Bear, from Bear's Workshop. So, Bear, I did not get much sleep. I had difficulty sleeping. We've also moved the dogs from the bed to the floor. They've got their own beds now. And that's supposed to help us get sleep, but they don't care for it. The dogs are not fans. The dogs are not fans of not cuddling and kicking us and scratching us all the livelong night. Let's reload the magic here. No magic. and similarly no magic. I would appreciate more magic. Oh, now I get it, Tim. You tend to miss my live streams. I thought you tended to miss my lives, like my life. And I was like, or my lives? I'm still waking up. I'm still waking up. I'm ashamed of this, but I'm going to show it to you. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. The ice cream machine's broken. Oh. Cybo-Man ordered the Cybertruck on the first. Clever robots, hello right back to you, my friend. So glad to have you all here. Ah, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind is what I'm going to do. That's what I think I'm going to do. That's what my plan is for later today, after I get off the chat. So I'm going to lose my mind. Just got a Model 3 to tie me over until my Cybertruck is available in Australia. I would, if I were in a financial position to do so, I would get the third row version of the Model Y. I know that's not available in Australia yet. And I know it's kind of small, but I've still got one of my boys is still small, and another one is small enough that I could jam him back there. Not in the price range. Not in my price range, not in my budget just yet. And I don't really drive that much. I work from home. Don't let the gorgeous backdrop fool you. It is a backdrop. I am absolutely in a dungeon. I was on a Discord chat with Bear yesterday, and he got to see. I gave him a brief tour of the inside. It's not that bad, but this is definitely not real. Apparently we still have no magic just yet. Nick ordered a Cybertruck a few months ago and lives in Canada, assuming it will take a while. I think the ordering it a few months ago is the bigger portion of the delay than the Canada portion. I don't know what the distribution of reservations by nation is. Boy, I just don't know. Jude, the electricity markets are very government dependent, so Tesla will only slowly work towards direct ownership. Well, the thing is, it's different in different places, and there are many peaker plants ripe for disruption and replacement all over the world. So they'll just look to see where can we put one, where will let us and has the best power arbitrage rates available. So there's opportunity, and while that's ongoing, rules will change, and they can still sell to other customers. Tim asks, how many lives have I had? A few. Oh. Patricia's got to get going. Very good. Boy, what do we do? Let's keep checking. Hopefully, somebody will watch. If you're just tuning in, say hello. Matt ordered his in June of 2020. On the Cybertruck fan page reservation says that you're about 500,000th in line. That's not that bad. That might be a year or two. Bear, who got to see via webcam what my office actually looks like, it was like being in a luxurious hotel behind those bricks. Yeah, this place is... I'm in a garage. Did I see that they're finally putting up the last walls at Giga Berlin? I did see that, and it's A, exciting, and B, about time. It's about time. They've got to. But I'm not worried because that's just the casting cathedral. And as we know from Texas and Fremont, those can be done outside. They don't need walls for that part of it. What we're waiting on is the final permits, man. Tesla should do something strategic with the UK gas crisis that's going on currently. I think the gas crisis will be over before Tesla would be able to make substantial moves. But I agree that, boy, just putting, power walls in houses and distributing storage would be fantastic. Would just be fantastic. I think Tesla Energy will catch up with the car sales revenue. Exciting times. I think you're right. The car market is big, but it's nothing compared to the energy market. Energy is huge. What is the central corridor for at Giga Texas? Maybe you talked about that and I missed it. So if you could tell me which episode. The only thing I've said about it is we don't know. My current speculation is that the Project Bobcat building, the cathode building that they were permitted to build on the east side of the power lines, I think that could end up being in the central corridor instead, because we know that there's been steel delivered that's marked cathode building. And I think it would be premature to have it on site now, but maybe it is. If not, I think my earlier theory is that it's for the forming of the Cybertruck shell. They're going to need a big, wide open space, and based on the placement of the footings, they've got wide space. They're going to have wide space there. That would also fit with the timeline of the Model Y coming online shortly and the Cybertruck in the middle of next year. So that would be fantastic. Rob ended his stream, figured I'd check you out. Sure enough. Welcome. How many Cybertrucks do I think they'll produce in 2023? 300,000. 300 to 400,000 in 2023. That's my guess. But I'd really like to know how accurate I am. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, the extra 8 of you, welcome. I have done pretty well with my numbers in the past. Last quarter, I was off by 91. I missed by 91. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to finally get YouTube respect. And YouTube disagreed with that. So that didn't happen. But my fundamentals remain strong. And that's sufficient to make me happy. How long do we keep this going? A little bit longer, I think. A little bit longer. It's Saturday morning, and it's only 7:18 in the morning in Fremont. All right. Oh, whoops. Holding reservation at about 1.3 million in line. Hello, Jeff Songster. I don't know if I've seen you in a while. I think I haven't seen you in quite a while. Welcome back. I mean, I assume you're here, but you know what I mean. Oh, you believe your Cybertruck is coming May of 2025. That sucks. That's painful. But, it happens. Also, we'll see how many of those reservations convert. I'd say out of the first 100,000, 200,000 reservations, I would say all of them, yes, good morning, good coffee talk. It's really not bad. It tastes mostly like cream and sugar, fat and sugar and caramel. So it's fine. I would say that the first 100,000 to 200,000 Cybertruck reservations will absolutely convert, because even if those people reserve 50 in hopes of having a cyber taxi network and it's not available yet, they could still sell off their reservations. There would be enough people. I think after we get past about 200,000 is when we'll start seeing actual attrition in the numbers, in the reservations. You're in at 107,801. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's still a while, though. That's still a while. How many Lightning produced in 2023? We actually know the answer to that. It's like 55,000, I think. It's a published figure. They're hoping to get to 80,000 by 2025, I think. So in 2023, it'd probably be... Well, they're only launching it in the middle of 22. So in 2023, 16, 20, 30,000. Not very many. Not very many. And they're spending $8.5 billion just to get their capacity up to the point where they can make 80,000 in 2025 or 6. It's a substantial amount of money. It's a substantial amount of money. It's 10 grand per truck for the capacity, and that's only counting the second half of the capacity, so really it's double that. The factory costs them $20,000 per unit of capacity per year. That's... Design is only recently finalized on Cybertruck, so it would make sense that they would just now understand and order the presses. Yeah. Even if the design was finalized 6 months ago, until you have the battery machine ready to churn them out, because I don't think they're going to fall back on 2170s like they could with the 3 or Y or 19650s, 850s, whatever they are. Like, my brain's still not working all the way. The original battery form factor for the Model S and X, I think those were also supposed to be 4680s. When they realized they weren't going to be able to get the factory done in time, they said, okay, prioritize Model Y, let's get some units out, and we'll get the Cybertruck area finished before we're ready to build. Boy, I'd sure like to see some updates on the Cybertruck. I'd sure like to see them. You know what else I'd like to see? If the magic has happened. And the magic continues. The magic continues. Aussie astronaut, my reservation number equates to about 193,000 in line. Yeah. 242 or 269 delivered. Well, I'm not sure what the question is, but here's my estimates. Divide your numbers by 50 states, and it ain't many per state. I assume you mean on the Ford Lightning, and you're right. Yeah. What is that? 1,400 per state? Though I don't know how many are going to be sold in Alaska or Hawaii. Maybe a bunch. But yeah, if they've only got capacity for 1,400 per state, that is not good. That is a very good point. The real problem I see is they're trying to make a truck that is amazing in every way, but by 2025 or 6, they're only going to be 8% of their total truck volume. That's a problem. 8%. If it's great, it's going to cannibalize their regular truck sales, and if it's terrible, it's going to kill itself. Plaid uses 2170s, does it? I did not know that. Does it really? Cyberman's prediction 246. I am ready to see the real numbers, and quite frustrated. Quite frustrated, but we shall get there. We shall get there. The magic continues. That's what I should do, is bring out some cards and do some card tricks. I'd have to practice. Pretty out of practice. Need my Cybertruck now. This ice car is about to blow. So my old van was about to blow a few years ago, and people were like, oh, you gotta wait. You're just around the corner. We're gonna have, even Nissan's gonna have a minivan soon. Or dude, just get a Model X. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like that's not in my budget. But my van did die, and so I went ahead and got another minivan, and that was years ago now. That was probably 3-4 years ago. Well, let's see, that was in 18, so that was about 3.5 years ago. And we're no closer. We're no closer. And I still can't afford a... The Cybertruck is too big for what I need, too crazy for what I need. I would still get it. I would still get it. If it was in budget, which by the time they're a thing that people can buy without having a reservation from a time traveler, I would absolutely get one. I'd have to redo my my landscaping a bit because I think it's too wide for the hedge next to my driveway. But that's all right. Oh. Jeff Songster, what's the actual payload capacity of the Rivian or Lightning versus the Cybertruck? Yes, it looks like, I saw a report last week that the Rivian is actually going to be not a Class 1 but a Class 2 truck, more like the F-250, because it's so darn heavy that they can't... its curb weight is like 7,000 pounds. So they would only have like 1,500. Well, then you put some people in it. 4 dudes at 200 pounds each. That's 800. Now you've only got 700 pounds of capacity, including whatever you tow. You're out. You're done. You need to be the next class up. And the F1 and the Lightning, I don't know. I think it's going to be similarly way too heavy. Way too heavy. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, I've made a lot of videos comparing the Cybertruck and the F-150 Lightning. And the comments are a broken record, but it's all right. They're well-meaning enough folks, but they don't understand. The only legitimate complaint I've seen is that the Cybertruck is ugly. And, you know, it's a matter of taste. Personally, I have no taste. I think it's great. But that's the only legitimate... They said, well, why can't they make it look like a normal truck? Oh, I can tell you why. Because it will cost $20,000 more and weigh 2,000 pounds more. That's why. That's why. I wonder if you were to build train tracks from scratch on Mars or the moon or some place where they don't... some parallel universe where they don't exist, would you use the same gauge of tracks? Would trains be wider? Would they be, taller? What size, what form factor would be best? We don't get to ask that question, and we certainly don't get to act on it because trains are already everywhere. We're not going to change the size of a standard shipping container now. Ford can change the size of their shipping container truck. They can tear it down and start over. There's nothing stop. Well, my toolbox won't fit on a Cybertruck. True. Get a new toolbox. Or better yet, don't use a tool. Why are you using a toolbox? That is the least secure way. Use the vault. Use the frunk. Use the interior. Use the sub-vault. There's so much space. And you're complaining about a toolbox. What are you talking about? Who cares? Of all the crazy things. Bear, I did not know you had a Cybertruck on order. Looking at January 2024 for my Cybertruck. That's cool. Andy Onions. Cybertruck, way too big for me. Way too big to park outside my house. Tricky to charge across a public pavement sidewalk. But I'm still going to get one if it's road legal in the UK. Yeah, and being that far down the line, Circumstances may change. Street charging may become a thing. Who knows? What's the downside of being Class 2? I don't think there is one. I don't know the answer to that. Bear, do you know the answer to that? If you do, post it. Rivian is designed for taking inflatable surfboards to the beach. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's designed for a rich guy to have fun. And in that capacity, it'll do just fine. I'll buy a Tesla bot to wash my Cybertruck. Wash it? What does that mean? I don't understand. But no, absolutely. Don't know when the laser will clean the mud off the front windshield. Don't know how it will do it. I'm still super skeptical of that laser windshield thing. I'm super skeptical. But is math related to science? Yes. 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 I'm going to say yes. Cybertruck is beautiful. I have to agree. Do you know Frank Gehry, the architect who makes buildings that look like metal poo? Some people despise the look of them. I think they're neat. I think they're neato. But it is definitely a matter of taste, and he is very successful. 300,000 Cybertruck deliveries may happen before 19,000 F-150 deliveries. Very possible. Yes, Jeff. Moving a brick through the air is more expensive. It is more, there's more drag. Yeah. So now you need more batteries to overcome the drag, and the more batteries add more weight, which creates new problems, more rolling resistance, more newtons to get you in motion. It's a death spiral. If Model 3 takes 10 hours to make, how long will Cybertruck take? 8 hours? Oh, I would say less. Oh, no, I would say less. Because you've eliminated hundreds of robot steps. It's simple. I'd say 4 to 5. I mean, I'm thinking it's not going to be quite as basic as the Jeep from World War II, but it's going to be close. And it can actually be produced in vastly greater numbers because the Jeep didn't have the benefit of modern manufacturing methods. And so it suffered from that. It's going to be quick. Hello, Brian Rashetsky from the skies over Austin, Texas. Your reservation 500,000-ish. Brian, when did you make your reservation? That's exciting. Oh, you know what? It was right around the time you started doing your channel, I think. That's the first time I heard about it. I was reading that Toyota wants over 80% of their vehicles produced in 2030 to be internal combustion. This is a recipe for bankruptcy. I can't understand what you doing, Toyota. What are you doing, Toyota? What you doing? It makes... how can you not see the writing on the wall? I had so much respect for them, especially when they came out with the Prius. I was just sure they were going to be the leaders. Here we are, not the leaders. Oh, I think the laser patent was mainly for the autopilot cameras, not for the windshield. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Laser is just for breaking down biological debris, not for removing rain or mud. It will be something used in conjunction with wipers. Vaporize the stuck-on bug, move it away. That is a theory I like. That actually makes sense to me. Because it seems dreadfully inefficient to try and remove water with a laser. But a bug? Yeah, zap it. Front profile of the Cybertruck is beautiful, and anyway round to a few degrees. Side profile is questionable. Rear profile is brutal. You know what? There are angles from which I just love it, and other ones where I look at it and go, her? I don't know. I don't know what I saw in her. But again, we haven't seen the final design, so it'll be interesting. Bear says in some states, higher class trucks will be tagged as commercial trucks. This could limit the roads they're allowed on. Ooh. And also, maybe they would have, maybe they would be in a different price category for the road use tags. Is CT a chick magnet? So, I don't know. I've been out of the game so long, I don't know what chicks like. Yeah, I don't know. Following Tesla news and the FUD really shows you how the world is run. Isn't it frustrating? Isn't it frustrating? You get one bad piece of Tesla news and it's 1,000 stories. You get one tweet and it's 20 stories, which become 50 more tweets, which become 50 more stories. Meanwhile, Chevy says don't park your Bolt within 50 feet of your house. How are you supposed to charge it? Well, don't park it within 50 feet of anything. What are you talking about? What do I... Don't worry, we'll replace the battery someday. Not now. We don't have any. We don't have any. And that's like not news. That's like not a big deal. Good morning, Brian. Mike from Grand Coulee Dam. Hey, Mike. You familiar with the Last Stand Diner in Coulee City? I used to work there. Small world. Towing is the great equalizer. Cybertruck's arrow edge goes out the window. Then Lightning's big battery could dominate. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It'll be interesting to see. I think by this time next year, we'll have a lot of great comparisons. But I think both are going to... I think towing is going to kind of suck for EVs for a while. Especially since there aren't very many pull-through charging places generally. Brian Rashetsky made the reservation a few months before the pandemic and then started the channel a few months into the pandemic. That's a good long time ago. That's a good long time ago. Yeah, that's how you got... That's great. What would I change if I was the CEO of Tesla? So I think it was the first or second video I made, certainly in the first week. I discussed all the things that I would have done differently and why it's good that I am not the CEO of Tesla, because I would have been far less ambitious. I wouldn't have, done Giga Nevada. Why? Just keep buying them from Panasonic. That would have been a mistake. I wouldn't have switched to making my own Model S. Why? You know how difficult that is? That's impossible. But today what I would do differently is engage the fans, for crying out loud. Engage the fans. They used to do that. They would have the big YouTubers invited out for track days where they could check out things like the track package. Them days is gone. Them days is gone. I went to Fremont and I made a video about visiting Fremont, and I did so from outside the fence because that's as close as they're interested in me going. I went to Giga Nevada and I made a video from not even outside the fence, but from so far away you could just see it in the horizon. That's a bad video. That is not very compelling content. And I wouldn't say... I'd say I'm a fan, sure, but I'm more than a fan. I'm an advocate, and the real frustration is because I'm a Tesla advocate, the other brands don't want to talk to me, and neither does Tesla. You have to be like Marquez Brownlee big to get in the door, and that's a level of success I imagine I will never reach based on the narrow focus of my content. So it's frustrating. So that's what I'd change. Yeah, that's what I'd change. M. Wilson, we really like the way you presented the information on your channel. 2 thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cybertruck's arrow edge is very real. Coefficient of drag is low, 0.3. I understand that that's good for a truck. I don't have a frame of reference. I know, I don't know how good that is. I'm curious to see if it ends up having mirrors or needing mirrors. Very curious. Boy, we're coming up on an hour and a half here, aren't we? Good times, good times. Anybody want to check for me? Make sure I haven't missed the numbers? Although I'm sure the chat would be blowing up. Would I wait for Texas production of Model Y? Well, if I had the money to buy a Model Y today, I would buy a Model Y today. But I don't, so I don't know. Probably waiting for Giga Mars, because all my money's tied up in my retirement. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Last Chance Diner. I was a waiter there opening summer. So that was, I don't know, quite a few years ago now. Probably, would that be 6-7 years ago now? I don't think they're open anymore. I don't think they're open. Yeah. Cool place. The area, I mean. That was the summer they lowered the reservoir. That was weird. Buildings showed up. Your CNC machine. Ibrahim, by the way, I'm a CNC machinist, used to working with big composite aluminum pieces from die-cast presses, pretty similar to the Gigapresses. If you want insights, feel free to hit me up at your leisure. Okay. I'm gonna think on that, because I do have questions, and I'll see if I can remember what they are. Boy, I don't remember what they are now. What is the best estimate of how many Cybertrucks can be produced yearly at Texas at full capacity build-out? So the battery plant there is only rated for 500,000 cars. It can be expanded. The production units are modular. So the answer presently is 500,000 minus however many Model Ys they make. But I imagine they're going to make 500,000 Model Ys. They need more batteries. So I'm going to say initial ramped capacity, initial nameplate capacity, Giga Texas, Cybertruck, 500,000. 1,000 a week with a little bit of downtime, 1,000 a week. 500,000. So that'd be like 1,500 a day. 1,500 a day. Final answer. Did I get it right? What did I win? Okay. Oh, Brian Roshetsky says, I can't afford the Cybertruck. It'll be the most expensive product purchase of my life. I've been saving up a down payment since the reveal. I support Tesla because I grew up across from oil refineries. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. Winter Park, Colorado here, looking to put Cybertruck through hell. That'll be fun. And the traction control on an electric vehicle is second to none. You can't get power to the wheels in the same way with internal combustion, no matter how hard you try. So, and having all-wheel drive with an electric drivetrain, especially if you do a 2 or 3 motor configuration, boy. And want to see a change and think Tesla's the only reason we're really making a change. Yeah. Andy Onions, yes, disappointing you didn't get the Rivian, Colorado invite. Yeah. Bear's Workshop has been doing weekly drone flyovers for months. He also did not get an invite, which is, that's a slap in the chops right there. I get it. Don't invite me, but R3D man, my content's some of the best. Keep up the tedious work. Thank you. I really love doing it. I'd like to say I would do it even if you guys weren't here, but I don't think that's true because it is a lot of work. And I'd just do it in my head instead. Andy says, coefficient of drag of a barn door, about 1.17. Model T Ford, 0.8. Cybertruck, 0.3. So, yeah, F-150 has to be 0.4, 0.5. So another way to say it is 30 to 40% worse. Bruce. Hello, Bruce. How are you? Good morning. Yes, my numbers are great. Number 500-ish reservation. Hot dog. Still hoping to be able to pick up at the factory and have it drive me home. That would be awesome. Andy thinks Texas greater than 2 million. Well, 500,000 Y, 500,000 Cybertruck. We're already halfway there, and they've got a lot of room to grow and a lot of room to ramp efficiency. If Giga Shanghai really did 52,000 last month, Giga Texas is bigger than Giga Shanghai. So, hello, Rob. Do I think any of the legacy auto survive? Any? Absolutely. Most, I would say. Even if they have to be propped up by, governments. Or just Tesla and startups and the Chinese. No, I think at least half of legacy auto will survive. I mean, look at Subaru. They're already kind of a niche company. Sorry. We okay? There? Was it Tim who said that? A niche company with very loyal buyers, very loyal owners. I could see a lot of companies going that direction. I don't know how the shareholders would feel about it, but if you're still a shareholder in those companies today, you're a gambler. That's my belief. Nick Stewart says he believes, I think people are underestimating how expensive the Ford Lightning will end up being. With limited production capacity and high demand, the dealerships will mark them up. Yes, they will. And they said, well, yeah, but they're going to have all these fleet sales. No, they're not. Just like Tesla made very few of the $35,000 Model 3s and very few of the $39,000 Model Ys, they're not going to be making very many of this. Ford is not going to make very many of their $39,000 trucks. And I don't think Tesla's going to make very many $39,000 Cybertrucks either. Why would you when you've got a backlog of orders a mile long with $20,000, $30,000 in profit per unit? And the Ford is going to be expensive and it's going to be in very limited supply. What would happen with the share price if deliveries are above 250? So this is great. Every quarter for the last 3-4 quarters, Tesla has beat Wall Street estimates, and by a lot. And the stock did nothing. So I think we're going to see a significant beat over Wall Street, and the stock is going to do nothing. Because that's what it always does. What I always say is, I think it's going to go up, therefore it's going to go down. Wow, looks like no numbers today. Okay. Have you guys heard that too? Is that the consensus? Should I get back to my day? Looks like the weather's going to be okay. Might take my kids to the pumpkin patch. I was going to take them last weekend, but the weather turned on us. Last week, where I was going to take them, but it was just rainy and nasty all week. Yes, Texas over 2 million, not next year, of course, but once fully ramped. And the thing is, they're not going to stop building. People have been saying to folks like Brian Rashetsky, Brian, what are you going to do when the factory's done? You won't have anything to do. Well, first of all, Brian Rashetsky covers a lot more than just Giga Texas. But even if he just covered Giga Texas, there's going to be enough to do. There's going to be, Giga Shanghai was done in October of 19, and they're still doing weekly flyovers because there's still activity. Although I don't know why they're still doing weekly ones. They're basically done. Now they're just doing it feels like for my benefit, so I can count how many of the heat exchangers are spinning and how many of the how much of the parking lot is full, and all that. And how many of the high-speed chargers are in use. Because that's how I come up with my numbers. GM needs to wrap their batteries in Starship tiles. All that would do is slow the conflagration. I guess I should have qualified survive. Any OEMs making less than, is that 10 million a year? the New York Times story yesterday was blaming the year-over-year catastrophic collapse of legacy auto sales on the chip shortage. And I'm looking at these numbers going, really? They're short. I don't think that's the whole problem. That might be one of the problems, but it ain't the whole problem. Because if Tesla can keep growing while you guys are dying, they're doing something different. Will Giga Austin have traffic issues when production ramps to 2 million? Where are they going to park them? Where do you think is the logistics lot? Because I don't know. I think they might put it on the other side of the highway. I don't know where they're going to put it, but there are not going to be traffic issues because there's several ways to get out of the site. They can go all the way to the west and get out to the other road out there. I don't remember the name of it. Brian might chime in on that. It'll be fine. And besides, with that many cars, the trucks are leaving throughout the day, spaced out. It'll be fine. Wall Street, 222, laughable. Yeah, 235 to 255, more likely. I mean, I agree, but my dealer put in writing that they will sell ordered Lightnings at MSRP. Great. I hope they do. I hope they do. I know with the Mach-E, the dealers got a little bit of slap from Ford saying, knock it off. Don't do that. I plan on creating a custom trailer with Cybertruck and selling my home. And with Starlink, I will live on the road. Wow. Wow. That's exciting. Duncan Adams, sometimes Tesla releases numbers in the afternoon or evening. I wouldn't wait, but there will definitely be numbers today. Hot and humid in Austin, 91 degrees. It's cold enough here. I considered turning on my heater. Yeah, let me know this. Once that ramps up, is the noise distracting? Let me know if you can hear it, because I just turned my heater on. Hot and humid in Austin, 91 degrees. Party on. Enjoy the pumpkins. Gotta go. Thanks for what you're doing. Thanks, Jeff. It was good to see you. Brian Rashevsky, I'm a photographer. I've been a successful photographer for over 15 years. Tesla is a happy expansion to my art. And if you get a chance to check, if you've already checked out Brian's channel, go to his video page and look at his other stuff. Because it's, the factory's the factory, but his other stuff really does a lot better job of highlighting his artistic work, the craft of it, if that makes sense. Legend of Owls, I think someone might be impersonating you if you look at the video where I asked, I went through and deleted as many of those as I could. I think I got them all. Yeah, any channel that gets any kind of big, and even the small ones, you get the spammers. So, and YouTube doesn't make removing them. They don't do enough. Off the lot Lightning, my dealer says, are fair game for market adjustments. Well, there's not going to be any off the lot ones, are there? I mean, if you've got pre-orders in excess of your production goals for the next 5 years, boy, I would be absolutely furious if I'm on the waiting list and they're shipping unassigned VINs to the dealers. But we'll see. Yes, Legend of Owls, they responded to everyone's comments. The spammers did, trying to get people to click to call some WhatsApp number. They responded. I must have deleted 150 of those. And it took about 20 minutes to deal with. 30 minutes maybe. Problem is Legacy Auto doesn't do tech. Chip makers want to migrate them to contemporary chips, but they still want old silicon. It's like Ford dealerships still demanding Model T spares. Yeah, and it's ridiculous, and yeah. Tesla does a quick rewrite and uses a completely different manufacturer's chips or a different chipset. Yeah, because they have all that capacity in-house. They have their own software developers. They don't pay $50 per month per employee to have Microsoft Office. They write the code themselves for everything, for inventory management, for everything, because they have the developers anyway. And when they're not working on the car, they're working on the office supplies, the office stuff. the Enterprise. Didn't I read that Giga Nevada has been stockpiling 4680s? We don't know where they're stockpiled, but those are coming from Cato Road. We do know that there is. That was Elon's tweet, that they've been stockpiling them. Add Austin's production means a lot of Cybertrucks in 2022, I hope. So, we don't know which models are going to get the 4680s. They're probably going into the Model Y. They're probably going into everything as soon as they're ramped. Tesla started adding superchargers in Africa. I saw that. Was that Morocco? It's the first one on the entire continent. Africa's a fairly big place. I didn't realize they were at 0. Tim, I found the focus of Brian was Brian, so stop watching his vids. Aw. Well, every channel has a different flavor. So, I enjoy his videos. I think they're great. Christopher Hill, do you think the Cybertruck will start changing the way people perceive what a truck is? Absolutely. 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 Because it can be mean, but nice at the same time. You know, like the big old scary biker who's not actually big, who's not actually scary. A lot of people say, well, it's too brutal. It looks too much like a military vehicle. So did Jeeps until they were overwhelmingly not military anymore. There's only so many times you can see a Jeep with, flower stickers on it and still think of it as a military vehicle. Now, you can still make a Jeep look military, and some people will. So I guess we're at 1 hour and 45, aren't we? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I thank you all for hanging out with me. And, yeah, worth a shot. Worth a shot. I was really hoping to get this done. All right. So thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll talk to you. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow, tonight. I don't know. Do a little victory dance over good numbers. Okay, guys. Well, I would do my normal sign off, but why? Nobody. You guys have already told me what I missed and misunderstood. You guys have already stayed tuned and juicy, and ain't nobody watching this video all the way through. Ain't nobody gonna watch this video. Oh, gosh darn it. I know. Wow. Okay, well. Shit. Rob, how long did it take to go from first test models to production? October was the first